we have the main display.
Yep.
We have the PLC.
Which is the IOXp.
And here we have the encoder that's going to be connected to the conveyor belt.
Okay, let me show the encoder in yeah, that's the encoder that is connected. We are connected to a drill shaft just to show
at the moment. That's right.
Yeah,
just to show when it's working, and how it's working, and so on and so forth.
And the operator interface, where we got 4 more switches there. Can you describe them to me?
Yep. Firstly, we've got the D+ for the PLC.
Yes.
That must be switched on, of course, for things to operate.
Yep.
Otherwise, at the moment, it's switched off.
Yep.
We've got the jog forward, jog reverse, and motor on, and motor off.
Yeah, that's a dedented switch. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And we also got a computer interface.
We've got the computer interface just to show us how the PLC is operating when we send it instructions. Of course, you won't be having this. This is just for my benefit.
Yep.
We'll be able to see from these 2 values here the valve outputs, the valve controls.
Yep.
When we actually do something here, they will go high. So that's basically an attempt to pump current to the valves.
Yep.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is turn it on, and you'll find that when I do turn it on, it'll go back to the home screen. At the moment, I've deliberately set it in the manual screen with everything idle.
Yep.
So I'll turn it on. Clicks. We're back to the home screen. We've got the date and time.
Yep.
And you've got the 3 options. You've got the auto mode, the manual mode, and the setup mode.
Yep.
The first thing you would need to do is you need to go into the setup mode.
Yep.
Upon which you need to enter a password, which is CAN on your keypad of the phone, which is 2. Go to the next one. 2 6. And once you've entered that, you press enter, and you're in the setup mode. Here you can set up recipes. You can set up the maximum and minimum currents, the conversion rates between current and meters per minute, or RPM and meters per minute for the encoder. And you've got the jog mode set up. You need to set that one up too yourselves. The first thing you'd want to set up is the current.
Yep.
Minimum and maximum current. I believe it's at the moment we've set it up at 150 and 450. You set it up to what you think the valve can handle as a maximum current. And you also have to set up the ramp up and ramp down. This is, again, milliamps per 100 milliseconds.
Yes.
So you'll need to set them up correctly. To set up the current, again, you just go into whatever control is highlighted by the yellow line around it, and you click the encoder, and you increase or decrease the current appropriately. So we'll set this one up to 100 and set this one up to say 400. We'll set the ramp up and ramp down to 15, and we'll leave that one at 20 accordingly. And then you go back to the previous page. We'll set up the recipes. We've only got 2 recipes here. Obviously you can have up to 8. And again, you select the recipes by clicking the encoder dial, by rotating it, and you can go between the different recipes. So we'll go to recipe 1, and here you can set up the actual target speed you wish to accelerate up to or get up to, the minimum speed in case you want to slow down that target speed a little bit, and a maximum speed beyond the target speed.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll set a target speed of say 50 meters per minute. We'll set the minimum speed at 40 meters per second, and we'll set the maximum speed at 60 meters per second. So that means that when you start up this recipe, it'll accelerate to 50 meters per second, but when things start to go a little bit wrong with the coil and it starts to slow down, you can increase that speed furthermore up to
maximum,
60 meters per minute. So okay, now that we've set that one up, we can go back and go back again. We've got the conversion. Here you've got the current to meters per minute conversion. You've got a multiplier and a divider. There's a little bit of an explanation here of how it works. It's quite important to understand. If 1 milliamp is say 3 meters per minute, we would move that one up to 3, and that's it, we've got it. if 1 milliamp is 1.5 meters per minute, we'd keep that one at 3 and we'll put this one at 2. And now that basically means 1.5 meters, every milliamp is 1.5 meters per minute. Similarly with the encoder, RPM to meters, if every RPM, well, it works the same way, so you set up the RPM multiplier and divider accordingly. We'll leave them at 1 and 1. We'll leave these ones at 3 and 2 if you like for now. Go back. And finally the jog mode. You have here the jog speed, so the speed that you want the conveyor to run at, and how long you want every pulse to last for. I've set up that so that it accelerates to 40 meters per minute, and the jog pulse is for 900 milliseconds. So every 900 milliseconds you get a pulse whenever you press the jog buttons forwards or backwards. I'm happy to leave those at these for now, but if you need to change them, you can go in there and click in and change them appropriately, accordingly. Alright, now that we've done all that, we've set up the recipe, the conversion, the current and the jog mode. If you turn the D+ switch off, these values will be saved to the PLC EEPROM, and so when you turn it back on again, the HMI, the Opus HMI will actually be updated with those new values. So we'll turn it off. It's turned off. When I turn it on, we'll go back to the home screen again. So here we are in the home screen. We've got the we've done the setup. We've got the auto and the manual mode. If we go to manual mode, what we've got here is the desired speed, which is currently set to 0. The step change, so whenever you press increase or decrease, it'll go up by that amount or down by that amount. So you can change that to say 15 meters per minute or 10 meters per minute or whatever you want it to be. So we'll leave it at 10 for now. And here you've got the actual speed, which will obviously be 0, and I'll demonstrate how this one would work. So we'll increase the speed. So we've increased to 10 meters per minute. If we now press the drill here and start the encoder working, we will see a value here on the actual speed. And so if we stop it, that goes down to 0 again. Now, whilst we're filming that, I will go and turn on the debug mechanism here. So here we have the debug mechanism. The first two values up the top here will show the valve outputs. They're currently set to 0.
Yep.
And hopefully when we increase the values here, these values should increase, which means that the outputs will be pumping current through the valves.
Yep.
Now if we come back to the display,
yep,
we'll go into manual mode.
Yep.
You'll need to turn the motor on, of course, before you can see any values here.
Yep.
If we leave it off and we increase,
yep,
it'll show something here, but you'll find that the values are still set to 0,
yep,
yet they're at 20 meters per minute here.
But it'll do 4.
If we press that,
yep,
you will see the equivalent milliamp outputs at the valves.
yeah, so that's showing microamps at the moment. So
That's right, yep.
Yeah.
Microamps. So if I increase it, it's 120, 127, and so on and so forth. 133. So every 10
yep,
should be equivalent to 15 15 milliamps.
yep,
And so, and of course there's a maximum in there also. What's that? I'm sorry, not that. It's half of that. So every 7 milliamps or 7.5 milliamps is about 15 rounds here.
yep,
All right. So we can increase and decrease. If we exit this screen before stopping everything, the outputs will ramp down to 0, and the ramping is what was done in the settings. In
the setup mode. Yeah.
Yep. In auto mode,
yep,
we've got the two recipes that we've had earlier. If we go to recipe 1, these are the values that we initially set. We've got the target speed, minimum speed, maximum speed, and you've got the start and stop
yep,
in there, and you've got the increase and decrease speed.
Yep.
So what happens is you press the start, you will see up here that the output has increased. If I press stop, that'll go down to 0. Do start again, and that's gone to 133,000, which is 133 milliamps in this case. Actually, there's a bit more. I'll just increase the screen a little bit here. Yep. Alright, so now that we've got that, if we come back to the display, supposedly after you've done that you will see a speed increase down below on the actual speed, right there. Because at this point in time the valves would be running the hydraulic pump, which would be running the conveyor belt. And so you can increase and decrease, you can stop here, and when you stop it, that goes back to 0. If you start it and you find yourself you don't have enough speed, you can increase it, and it will actually increase. No.
So that current value shown there is increasing there.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So, and it will do so. Is it still increasing? 140, yes.
It's gone to 140.
Yep. We will need to work with the step value of that eventually.
Right now it's not increasing anymore.
It's going up and down accordingly.
Yeah, correct. You're pushing.
Yes, you'll need to push it slowly, that's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't respond well to being pushed quickly. But I think 140 might actually be as far as we can go with it. Because
with the way it is set up right now.
That's right, yeah. So you can see it decreasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 140 is the maximum it'll go up to, which is equivalent to 60 meters per minute.
Yeah, that's the way we have set up in the setup page.
Yep. And again, if you exit this screen, without actually stopping, it will the valve will ramp down to 0.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. So basically, what we're going to deliver to the customer is basically this panel which you see here, which has got the operator interface, the 2 jog buttons up and down, and with the detented stop run button.
Sorry, it was one other thing. There's a jog mode also.
There's a jog mode. Yeah.
The jog mode only works in the when you're in the welcome screen. If you're not in the welcome screen, it won't work.
Yeah.
And again, you just the motor has to be on.
Yeah.
You jog forward, and it will jog forward, and you can see it jogging forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you jog backwards, and you'll see it jogging backwards.
Yeah. Is this jog allowed at any condition, or is it a maintenance condition or something like that?
It's just maintenance, and it's only in the welcome screen.
Okay.
In reality, we should have a third screen for jog mode. You go into that screen, there'll be nothing, no displays here, and you'll only be allowed to use those in that screen only.
Okay. Yeah.
But at this point in time, as a proof of concept, we've only given it to them in the welcome screen.
In the welcome screen.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a proof of concept, as I said. Yeah. Okay. So I think that should cover the lot. So in this instance, we are supplying the control panel, which is basically got this operator interface and the 2 switches and the D plus and the main switch, on-off switch. You have the Wachendorff encoder, which is this one.
Yep.
That's been set up to be driven by a drill just for the sake of measurements and simulation of the test right now. And the ESX IOXp, which has got a amp latched connector, which has got a way of particularly working with the latch being taken out, so the connector can be taken out. So that's basically the wiring has been done. Basically, it's a test wiring. The customer can integrate it with their system, and it's fully tested at this stage. So we'll leave it at that and check it from there.